already did this video once, and it did not go well. Let's try this one more time. You guessed it, guys. We are at Dollar Tree and we're about to get a full face of makeup. This should be fun. Okay, so I have no makeup on, so I'm going to try to hold the things up and see what kind of blends with my skin, because I don't know in some of the brands here what I will wear. But I'm actually kind of impressed. There's a lot of makeup and a lot of different things. Now keep in mind, if we don't find it here, we're not going to use it. So that means that if we're missing a step, we're just missing a step. But let's see. You guys wanted this, so barefaced, crazy looking, I'm gonna find some makeup. These are fun. And here is another shade. So, yes, I was worried that I was gonna have to use a pencil, but wait, oh my goodness. I have never seen this color from e.l.f. There are a lot of fun things. These are absolutely awesome. They're loose powder, so we can use these for like highlight, or we can use them for like some really pigmented pop on our eyes. Yep, go with me. Okay, so we definitely need all of our face products, and I am so hot. It's hot outside. So let's get concealer, foundation, contour, and powder. Those things are so important, and we can't have a look without them. So which ones do we choose? The shade range is a little small. I have light or medium. Oh, wait. There's dark. I think a medium. Okay, so we almost have everything we need. This actually has been quite a decent selection, so I have almost everything and some really interesting colors. So we're gonna see how pigmented things are whenever we put them on, and it should be interesting. This has got to be the smallest makeup palette I have ever seen. It's all busted up. That's kind of a shame. This would have been interesting just to see what happens when you take the pans out. Okay, we're leaving Dollar Tree and we have a huge bag of makeup. For all the makeup that I ended up with, I spent about $20, and then I got a couple other things because you can't go in Dollar Tree without getting something else, right? So let's get home and fix this face. I've been wandering around looking crazy all day. As you can see, Dollar Tree was very interesting, and I found so much stuff. So much stuff. Like, I was not expecting that at all. But I also learned that each Dollar Tree has different merchandise, and they cannot order things, so they get shipped all of these crazy things just kind of however. So you may find one brand at one store and another totally different brand at a store that's in the same community. They do this in part because they really want you to check out all their stores, but also I don't think that there's really any like thought process that goes behind it on shade range, so that's something to consider. Let's get to it. Before we get to it, here's the sad truth. I'm growing my hair just a little bit, and because of that I have all of these little baby hairs, and those little baby hairs get in my way. I can't use one of those cute little headbands, it just doesn't work. So this is what you guys get to see me with, right here. Woo! Woo! Yeah, anyway, with that being said, I have just taken off any makeup that I was wearing, and we are going to start with today's facial serum. That's right, I said facial serum. Keep in mind, anything we use in this video today has all been purchased at Dollar Tree, so if they didn't have it, then we won't be using it. That means that unfortunately they did not have primer, so instead we will only be using facial serum. Now this serum right here is a pink sea salt and rose water serum. It says here that you're supposed to gently cleanse your face and use it for a hydrated and silky smooth finish. It does say on here that you're supposed to use it after you have already toned your skin, but another thing they did not have at Dollar Tree was toner. So while you can find some really great hidden gems there, you're also missing out on a few. Ooh, I probably got too much. Let's try about half of that little dropper. Ooh. Ooh. Oh yeah, It moves. Oh, it looks like I'm crying. Okay, let's go ahead and rub this in. It does smell very nice. Even though it's like a rose and sea salt, it doesn't smell super rosy. It smells kind of like the ocean. I know it sounds bizarre, but it does. It smells kind of like the ocean. Probably the sea salt. Anyway, so I feel nice and moisturized. So we're going to fan that for just a couple minutes. Feel it settling in. Now, let me talk to you while I'm fanning my face. I was looking for a full face of makeup, so that means that we had a lot of steps to check off. We've clearly proven that they did not have a couple of them. Just saying, I looked everywhere, it was impossible. There were a couple more that I didn't think that they had, but I managed to find them in the end, so I was so excited. But one thing that was lacking was, again, shade range. I did find this Sassy Chic formulation of foundation in a medium. Now, I am usually not a medium, but I'm also not a bright white. So I was somewhere in between, and I will say that they only had 3 ranges. They had the light, the medium, and the dark. And the dark was about the same color as me when I have a good suntan. So I wouldn't consider that dark. I will also tell you that they did not have beauty blenders. They had old school sponges. That's right, old school sponges. So I was really excited to find these because I actually haven't used one of these in so long, and these are so tiny. But we are going to apply a little bit of water to see what happens. Are you kidding me? This thing is so massive now. So this is what it started out looking like. See this right here? This is what it looks like now. So it definitely absorbs water. That also probably means it's going to absorb a lot of product. But I'm okay with that. It's $1 for the product, and if this even halfway works, I'll be thrilled to death. Now, I don't know what the best way to apply this would be exactly, because typically I put a little on the cabinet. Don't judge me. And then I use my actual beauty blender. But okay, we'll just draw a little happy thing here. And here, doo-doo-doo, and here. Whoa, that went a little nuts. I feel very shiny and moist. And I also feel like this is moving the product, but it's not absorbing very well. And I don't feel like I have a ton of coverage. It's just, do you hear that? Slap the face. I feel like I have to slap it into my skin to get it to stay. I'm going to go down a little bit onto my neck, but not too much. But see how shiny I am? There's no reason I should still be that shiny. And my poor little baby hairs. Oh, poor little hairs. I'm going to try to go over this with a dry sponge to see if that helps a little bit, because it looks a little nuts right now. Oh, that is helping. Okay, cool. So the moisture in the sponge was too much, even though I had wrung it out. So, yeah. Now we're moving on to our powder as I drop things. So our powder is an LA Colors palette. Right here, it comes with its own little puff, and I have used this a while ago when I was trying to do my video. But all in all, it's not too bad. I'm actually really impressed by the coverage of the powder. I feel like with a better foundation, this powder could actually live some life and be okay. This is not where it's at right here. Let me try this brush that I used for bronzer in the first attempt at this video. Just gonna clean it out just a little bit. See, very powdery when you use the brush though. When you use the little pad, it's not near as powdery feeling, but you can see it on the face. And I'm kind of loving this brush a lot. So this is definitely going to be something that I continue using because the bristles are nice, and you can probably see there's some powder coming off of them right now, but oh well. Now it's time for us to contour. Contouring is something that is so important in my makeup routine because without contour, I look nuts. My face is very round, I have a very edgy haircut, and without the ability to really carve out some chiseledness, then I just kind of look crazy. So I'm going to be using the LA Colors Contour Palette, which you can see right here, and it's actually pretty nice. It has a highlight and a contour. The highlight itself is just a very powdery, light highlight, but the contour, let me do a little swatch for you, is right here, and as you can see, it has a nice tannish tone to it. So I'm going to use my same brush, which I have cleaned out. I normally would have more than one brush, but again, we are working with what they had. I'm going to be using my nice little finger space right here, dipping into the palette, and this palette again is very powdery, so it does have a nice buildable texture to it, but it does also blow out pretty quick. So we're going to just start off here and then keep going, and we're going to build ourselves a nice shape. This is a little bit too large for me to be able to do my nose, so I'm going to take, I think this is a nice shadow brush, and again, it's nice and soft. I'm going to use it just to build myself a little bit of a nose. Now, I don't usually contour my nose too much because my nose is already pretty small, but it is nice to have that pop to make it extra snatched. So with this powder, it is a little weird on the nose. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out my brush, just really primitively, and then I'm going to blend a whole lot. Use a nice angle brush. Again, this is an angle brush from Wet n Wild. I did already dip into a color palette. There were no other brow products, at all. They didn't even have brow pencils. And that was kind of strange because they had eyeliner pencils but not brow pencils. So I found this color palette right here from ColorMates, and it has these nice rich brown tones right here. So I'm going to use one of them today to do my brows. Now I did go ahead and settle on this one right here. It looks a little shimmery, but whenever it goes on to the arm, it's this nice rich dark tone. Yeah, so that's going to be perfect for my brows. So I have my handy dandy little mirror, and I have my little palette. So let's do some brows. Okay, so the basics are there. I realize that I do my eyebrows completely different than some people, but this is the way that I use my gel liner, and I thoroughly enjoy the look. I usually take it and I draw on my little outline like I have, and then I blend up and down, and then also through the center just a little bit. This usually leaves me with a nice blunted edge, and then I thin it out just a little bit and then go over it in the middle with my little sponge to make it look a lot more natural and almost like that nice ombre look. I don't know how that's going to work today, but we're going to try. I'm just going to have to use more powder because it doesn't move like gel. Okay, not terrible, not the best, but not terrible. If you'll notice, whenever I get close, it's very blunt, so we're going to try to pat it out just a little to see if we can't make it look a little less obvious that we just drew on our brows. I'm going to take the one that's super over-absorbed with water and just go in there, just a little. Nope, it's not going anywhere. Okay, cool. We're just going to have a really severe brow. I'm okay with that today. It has been a struggle. So this little palette we're actually going to use for our eye look in just a moment, but before we do that, I wanted to use our concealer. The concealer itself, much like the foundation, doesn't have a lot of shade range. So I'm a medium in foundation, and this is a beige in concealer, and as you can see, they pretty much look alike. So that's not going to work. I can't bake with that. So instead, I am going to use this as an eye primer because there wasn't one at the store. So I'm just going to paint on my little eye primer, nice and thin. This actually doesn't feel sticky, which is kind of nice. I didn't know how well that was going to work because sometimes concealers can be extremely sticky, and I hate that. Especially whenever you get into products that have a lower price point. A lot of times they use heavy oils, and then it just gets weird. Okay, so I have the basic on there, and then I'm just going to tap it in just to soften it up a little bit and move it on the eye. Okay, cool. That's not too bad. So now we're going to strike while it's hot, and we're going to figure out our eye look. Now I bought tons of different stuff, and I wanted to share a few of the items with you. First of all, I have our mascara, which is going to be our Color Mates Black Mascara. This is going to go on, of course, last. Normally I would do a look with lashes, but I'm going to save that for our second round of things because I want to shop around and see what kind of lashes that they have for variety. But yeah, so this is also going to be paraben free. I like that they label everything paraben free. That's kind of nice. Ugh. All of the containers are definitely me proof. You all came in on the second round of videoing and luckily missed out on all of the wonderful packages that I couldn't open. But like really, like where does this happen? Like the whole thing came off, but okay, so this is ridiculous. With that being said, finally we have broken into the package, and I feel like I need a medal and a victory lap. So before we put this on, let's just go ahead and look at it real quick. Again, this is Color Mates. It has a curved mascara brush. There it is. It's kind of a bizarre curl. Okay, that's interesting. And much like the other applicators that I have seen, there is a ton of product that gets stuck to the ends of these. I don't know why. That's kind of strange. We're going to use that in a minute. But until then, I wanted to share with you the color palette that I'm looking at. So I found something that was absolutely spectacular, and every so often when you're at your Dollar Tree, you can find these kind of spectacular, awesome little goodies. They're like little Easter eggs. Oh! So I found this e.l.f. liner, and this is phenomenal. This is a teal coloration, and it is so exciting. It's so pretty. Like, that's gonna be beautiful. I love this color. I've actually used the e.l.f. liners before. I like their black. Their black is like amazing, and it just glides on with a good angle brush. So I'm really excited about this cream liner, and oh my goodness, it's excited about me too because it actually opened. Okay, so the little pot itself is not that big. It's kind of small actually, but it's super cute. Like, I love these little pots right here. Like, they're so awesome. And that color, that's gonna be so pretty. Okay, so I just want to get straight to this. So now the palette that we got our brow stuff out of, that was this palette right here. It's the Garden Party palette, and if you'll notice, there's these 3 colors at the top that I think would look awesome with this. There's some other tones as well on the other end that are really pretty and will probably make for a good blender shadow. So I'm thinking that we're going to start here. So I'm going to swatch a couple of these and see what colors that they end up. I think I have kind of selected what I want to use, but I want to see what they look like on. Now let's start with this deepest blue. These don't have shadow names. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. Yeah, it's kind of pretty. I like that one. Now let's go with the mid-tone blue. Ooh, that's nice and bright. It's so hard for you guys to see the pigment that would be buildable with these, I think. Okay, and this is going to be the lightest shadow. Also in the blues. Ooh, that's a very icy blue. Like, those are really pretty. I'm super excited about using this shadow palette, but more so to use the liner. We're going to dive right into it. I have, of course, the brush that we used before when we contoured our nose. I'm going to get that one nice and cleaned up. That's just a regular shadow brush. Then I have this small eyeshadow brush, which, I can get it open. Also, Wet n Wild. Lots of Wet n Wild here. Okay, cool. So this one is going to be very similar to the other one. It just feels a little bit more packed. Okay, and then we have this one, which is our crease brush. And this one is super nice and fluffy. So I think that first we're going to build up our crease. And normally I would like a nice packing brush, but I don't have one. So I think we're going to build our crease with this pan right in the center, right here. And I would like to call this like a cerulean blue. It kind of looks like that. So, like, do you see this? It barely ends up on the brush. I'm really confused on this, so this could be interesting. Let's go straight into that crease. Oh, wow. There was not much there, and then all of a sudden it's like blue, like 80s blue. Okay, so that went differently. And because we've started this train, now we have to run it all the way into the ground on this side too. Okay, see, that one didn't do that. I don't understand. This is very odd. You know how sometimes whenever you get an eyeshadow though, that top layer of the eyeshadow is just so pigmented, and as you work your way down the pan, it's just not. Like, that's what I feel like just happened. Because look, like, I just want to cry. Like, I'm just gonna have to keep dipping, and I shouldn't have to do that. Okay, so we are way above the brow bone, and we are much darker on this side than we are this side. But hey, it is what it is. We're learning today. Okay, so, wow. Okay, this is going to be the first part of our blue, and as you see, there is some discoloration to the brush now because of the pigment. It's so strange that, like, it was so pigmented, and then it was, like, not very pigmented, though. So, next, I think I'm going to try to use this brush, which has the tighter bristles, because I think that we need it with this next color. I think we're going to go with this nice light shade. I think that's going to be nice. And then I'm going to work it into the crease. I still look like the 80s right now. I'm clearly dressed like the 90s, and yet my makeup is screaming 80s. Okay, whatever. Well, that was eventful. Okay, so I think we're going to continue now. We have packed in our color, and with that, we're going to blow it out just a little bit. I think with this brush that started this horrific situation, we've kind of cleaned it out just a little bit, and here we go. Let's try to blow out these edges to make them not quite as harsh. I'm doing the best that I can. This is all shimmer, and it didn't look that way, so now we're stuck with all shimmer. With that being said, I'm going to try to use a deeper, richer tone to kind of add some darkness to this, because right now I just look really bright. So I'm going to go into this third blue, 1, 2, 3, right here, and see if we can't make this a little bit better. I just wish I had something that had a little bit more control. The powder is very loose, and so you can probably see down here and then over here that there's quite a bit of fallout. So if I were to use this brand again, I would probably use the little makeup shields, and that would be great. I'd probably also find a matte to go with them, though, to be honest. I do have an interesting color variation that's forming like right here though, where the two shades decided that they totally wanted to just kind of merge together and became this really interesting tint. So now that I have done that, I'm going to wait to do the lower lash line, and I think that I need to try to add a little something to take away a little bit of the blue. So I have just a thing for that somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so I found this loose shadow right here. This is another LA Colors product, and I actually have used the gold before. I really like this. The gold is a really convincing runner-up to like Fenty. Yeah, it's weird, right? It's so sparkly. Now, I don't have any kind of like setting spray. Normally, I would take a nice packing brush and I would use a little bit of setting spray, and that would really lock this on because it is such a fine little mist. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use this thing that I thought that I was going to get rid of from this palette, because let's face it, no one uses these. I think I'm going to use it like a sponge. I'm going to get it wet. I'm going to dip it into a little bit and see if I can't pack it on this area. So I'm going to try that, but first I'm going to take a tiny bit of this concealer that clearly is too dark, and I'm going to go in right here and create a little bit of an area where this can lay. I may not need actually to wet the little sponge. This might do the trick for me. Let's see. We're gonna try it. Worst case scenario, it just doesn't work out. So we're gonna take this, and we have this little brush, but I'm gonna set it to the side. I'm gonna take a little bit of this and dump it into the cap. Okay, that's a lot. And then I'm going to try to just pick it up with my little applicator. I could probably do this with my finger too. And then I'm just going to pat it into place. I actually like it. I really like it. The best thing about makeup is you can literally do anything, and so there is no right or wrong. It's all about play. Let's go back in again. Okay. I'm okay with this. Like, I really am okay with this. I am not completely sold on the products, and I would normally like to do a cut crease or a half cut crease, and that's kind of what we've done in a very primitive way here. It's not the prettiest, and it's not the most refined, but it totally works, and we have the illusion. Now it is time for the thing that I've been wanting to do this whole time. It is time for the e.l.f. pot. Now for this, I have obviously this right here, but somewhere, there it is, I have this angle brush. And we're just going to take this angle brush and we're going to dip it in, and then we're going to line. And some days we have sisters and some days we have twins. That's all we're going to say about our liner. And so, ooh, look at that. That's so nice. Like, it just dives right in there. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's almost too much. Woo. Okay, so I have some of the gel. And again, we're just going to... It almost gets lost because I did so much blue. I would like to do this again with like a smoky eye in this color. I think that would be really pretty. Yeah, it just kind of blends. That's so sad. I will definitely do this again with a more muted eye. Okay, I've let it dry down just a little bit, and now it is time to go in with our mascara. Not our Ardell, our mascara. So this is our crazy looking crook, and I don't know, this is interesting. So let's just go over the lashes. It doesn't separate very much. It wants to lump everything kind of together, like right here especially. Wow, I have like one lash, but this is awkward. So I was in the middle of filming and my camera cut out, and it said that the battery was dead, but I looked on the camera and in fact it wasn't dead. So I'm not sure what's going on, and I wanted to make sure that I finished up this tutorial of all my cool Dollar Tree finds. So this is the LA Colors liner. This is an auto eyeliner, and here it is. Woo, look at that. So that's going to be nice and easy to go on my waterline, and see if we can't punch this up just a little bit. That is a lot better. It's not perfect, but we look like we have eyes now. The last thing that we're going to do with the eyes themselves is we are going to go back into our little shadow palette, and we are just going to go under and just add a little tiny bit of the color to it. This right here is our shimmer for the day. This is our highlight color, another LA Colors. This is in the color Champagne. Now, whenever I first opened this, okay, we're better. It decided to go, and that started the whole downward spiral. But I will say that I know this now dries very quickly. It is very bold, and very little goes a very, very long way. See what I'm saying? A long way. That was less than like a dot. And my nose instantly looks small. Okay, so when it comes to the cheeks, this is where I'm a little nervous. Ooh, it's blinding, but it's also a lot. It's very pretty. The color is very nice. Last but not least today, we are going to put on a lip, and I have no idea which lip that I want to use. I have something that's more neutral, which was kind of a smart choice, I think, with the blue. But then I also have in here a super red. And then I have this one, which is like a burgundy, I think. Whatever we don't use today, I'm going to use in the next look. So I think what I'm going to do, honestly, is I'm just going to set these right here in front of me, and I'm going to close my eyes and pick one. This could be really bad. So here we go, setting them here, all upside down, shuffling them a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, picking. We actually picked the nude. Okay, I'm okay with this. Now there was no lip liner to go with this, so today we're going to be trying out the Breeze color by Wet n Wild. It is the silk finish, and it is actually a rich, buildable color, is what they say. So it says it's also chock full of vitamins and antioxidants. Okay. Wait, could it be a package I can actually get into? Wait.
No, not today. Still not today. Help me, please. I'll be like on Ricky Bob. What do you say? Help me, oh, Cruise. Help me, Tom Cruise. Can I just say help me, somebody?
Hi! Okay, so let's look at this first. Ooh. Now I want to actually do a swatch before I put it on my lips so you all can see what it looks like on camera first, and then we'll put it on for the look. So I'm going to swatch it. I'm going to go over it a couple times because it's very faint. It's right here. This is super faint, and normally I wouldn't wear something this faint. I will say, this is going to be interesting. Once again, let's see. Ooh. This is very, very sheer. The texture is very creamy. I like the consistency. It doesn't have a weird smell. It just kind of smells like nothing. It has a lot of shimmer to it. Almost like a gloss. And I usually don't wear something this shimmery. But for me personally, this is a miss. This is again the Breeze by Wet n Wild, and it's really pretty on the arm, and it's not bad on the lip. It's just not me. So I think that now that we're finished with all that, I'm going to clean up everything and then go through everything on a final thought for this full face of all things Dollar Tree. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on Dollar Tree makeup, you're probably asking? Well, I did do a couple of modifications to this side over here, and I think with the modifications that I made, it definitely changed my outlook. Now, again, these were done super quickly, so they are not perfect, but I went ahead and went with the darker liner instead of this really beautiful color that I wanted so bad to make happen. I think that if I was using a muted look, this would be perfect, but with all of the colors that already kind of go in its color family, it does not work out. So with the darker liner, it really emphasized more on what little work the mascara was able to do, and then helped a lot. I also went in and touched up the bright tone from the highlight, and I think that that really made the eye pop a lot more. You'll notice that this side has a little bit more division, and this one just looks a little bit more crazy. Now, with that being said, what were my favorite products? My absolute favorite products were this guy right here. This guy could be used in so many ways, and I really look forward to using it with a lot more looks. The gold one that I have is such an amazing portion of my makeup already that I think that by adding the white, I'm going to love it. Now, another thing that I was actually very, 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 very impressed by was this powder. I don't know. It just really takes you from a shiny place to a matte place, which is great, and then gives you a nice palette to work with, kind of. So that way you don't have to worry about having all of this extra going on. With that being said, there's no skincare underneath this, so you can see my pores and things like that. So I'd be really eager to try it when I have more skincare on for moisturizing, so it doesn't settle in as much. Because right now, you might not be able to see it, but I can definitely see that it's settled into some places it's not supposed to. So that would be my other favorite. So these two guys right here are my rock stars. You should definitely check these two out. I also love this for the color. It wasn't right for this look, but the creamy whole application of it is so heavenly. What were my misses? Well, this lipstick was a miss for me. The creamy formulation is awesome. I love that the formula is nice. It doesn't smell weird. It doesn't seem to break down. I did swatch this, and I used it on my lips, and it doesn't have any kind of like destruction on it whatsoever. Sometimes cheaper lipsticks, immediately you can see like lines in them, or you can see like where they're already starting to like peter off and things like that. Not the case with this one, and I'm really loving the formula, just if it was in a different color. So for me, the lipstick itself, because of the shade, was a miss. And lastly, the foundation was a little bit of a miss for me. Now the foundation was a miss because the shade range was not great. Even though it does not look terrible, it went on kind of in a strange texture. I wasn't sure if it was wet, or if it was the sponge that was wet, or if it was the fact that I had moisturized, or what. All I knew is it would not settle into my face, and it just kept moving around instead of going where it was supposed to. My tips for you guys would be, if you're going to Dollar Tree, to check out all of the different things. Again, not all the inventory is going to be same from store to store, so you might find some hidden gems. Who knows? You also might find some things that you absolutely hate. But it's all $1, and it's not that big of a deal. I would like to definitely say, if nothing else, go get the brushes. go get the brushes. These things are $1 each, and if you go and find these at Five Below or you find these at Walmart, they are more than $1. Just saying. So that is my video for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today. I hope you didn't think that I was too nuts. And I hope you come back to see my next look, which has some completely different colors. And I think we're going to like it better because I found some cream eyeshadows. Oh! Until next time, guys, thanks again for joining my new channel. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'll see you again.